In this quote from professional golfer Rory McIlroy, he states that your mental and physical health should be your number one priority. He states that if you not feel 100% mentally and physically, that you should be able to have time to rest and recover so that you can hit the course 100%. Many high school athletes do not get this time to rest and recover and typically have to play through many different adversities. High school athletics has a huge impact on teen stress levels. My name is Ben Friedlander. To what extent does different aspects of the high school experience impact teen stress levels within the United States? Many high school students participate in high school sports, and many research has shown that they have negative underlying effects. These negative underlying effects include a decrease in students' academic performance, an increase in student stress and anxiety levels, and a decrease in self-confidence and happiness. A key component to a reason why many student athletes have shown a decrease in their academic performance is because of the lack of time management. Student athletes lack time management because after-school sports tend to last 2 to 3 hours, and this takes a lot of time out from studying and homework. This graph represents the amount of hours students spend with the sport per week, and it shows that the majority of students spend between 10 to 15 hours per week. This takes a lot of time out of potential time for studying and homework so you can get better at your classes. A main reason student athletes struggle with time management is because they are under a lot of pressure and stress, and from multiple different sources. Because student athletes are under a lot of different sources of stress, this can have a negative impact on their sleep schedule. The average amount of sleep that an average teen should get is around 8 hours, and many teens nowadays do not receive this amount of sleep because of stress and pressure from athletics. Not receiving that recommended amount of sleep can have a negative impact on your focus in the classroom and can negatively affect your mental health. Student athletes' health is usually the number one priority in athletics, but is typically disregarded. This graph shows that teens who deal with stress have had had a slight impact on their mental health in 2013. Student athletes' mental health is disregarded because many student athletes do not feel the need to speak about it. Many student athletes do not realize that stress can lead to other mental health disorders like depression and anxiety, which can have negative effects on your athletic performance and your academic performance. Student athletes are under a lot of pressure and stress, and this can have a negative effect on their physical health. Student athletes who participate in sports like football and lacrosse are putting their bodies on the line on a day-to-day basis because these are called contact sports. Oftentimes, these teens who participate in these sports are given little time to recover, which puts an immense amount of stress on the physical body. When you are given little time to recover and have a lot of immense stress on your body, this increases the likelihood of injuries. Inside the world of athletics, many teens face different phases of adversity. In this quote from Simone Biles, she states, "In the sports landscape, courage is the idea of persevering through adversity. It is facing fear, staring down the potential for failure. It is refusing to be thwarted by pain, doubt, or opposition. It is overcoming." Many student athletes can relate to this quote because they have to face many different adversities through many different challenges like school, sports, problems at home, and etc. Inside of the world of high school athletics, coaches develop strong bonds with players, and players can meet many new friends. Coaches inside of the high school environment have a huge impact on their players because these strong bonds build connections. The strong bonds can often lead to a decrease in self-confidence and happiness because many coaches can have a strong impact and many players will want to succeed for them. In many cases, players feel the need to succeed for their coaches so that they maintain the strong bond and maintain their starting spot. Oftentimes, when players do not succeed all of their coach's expectations, they are replaced, and this can destroy their self-confidence. This picture represents a football coach yelling at 2 of his football players because they most likely made a mistake. Although they made a mistake, some players must be coached different, and yelling is not always the answer. Yelling can most likely destroy a player's self-confidence, and it can often result in many more mistakes. When strong bonds between players and coaches are made, this puts more pressure on athletes to succeed in both academics and athletics because their coaches are pushing them so that they increase their GPA, because many coaches have a GPA count, and a lot of times you can't play if you do not meet that requirement. When teens have a low self-confidence, this leads to many other mental health disorders like depression and anxiety, along with stress that they are already receiving from these sports. There are many possible solutions that can help benefit a teen's high school athletic experience, including reducing time spent on after-school sports, increased lessons on time management, and giving student athletes the ability to speak about their problems to resources that can actually help. Many student athletes do not feel the need to speak about their problems because many counselors do not actually help. There are also many limitations that come with these solutions, including limiting practice time can affect the team's performance. Limiting practice time can affect the team's performance because if players are not practicing together on a consistent basis, then they are increasing their likelihood of not being together as a team. Athletes can disregard sports because of possible solutions, because this takes time out of their athletic experience and they can find other focuses that take away their focus from their sport. In conclusion, high school student athletes have seen that athletics can have a negative impact on their high school experience, and allowing student athletes to have more freedom inside of the athletic experience would benefit their academic success and help them maintain a healthy lifestyle. Thank you for your time.
All right, 2 questions for you, Ben. What evidence did you gather that you didn't use, and why didn't you use it?
I gathered evidence on adult stress levels that are influenced from athletics. I didn't really use it because my main topic was teen stress levels, and the adults didn't really have the same evidence.
And if you had more time, what additional research would you have conducted?
I would have used additional research on teens' social influence in athletics, because a lot of my sources did not mention how this stress had an impact on their social life, and only really in academics.